ambiance.
This is my background music.
Awesome. Have coffee? We'll watch Georgie and Patty show. All right.
All
Well,
right.
hello and welcome. Welcome to the Georgie and Patty show. And in a change of pace, today I am opening the show and I have the quote of the day. And I'm let the dogs out. Yeah, this is great. This is the work from home home office casual show. We have barking dogs and cats that wander in front of the video, and that's part of what makes it so special. So I'm Patty.
And I'm Georgie, as I'm just changing my name so you know who I am.
Excellent.
I'm not actually 10K program Georgie and Patty. I'm just Georgie.
Just Georgie. Just Georgie.
Georgie.
I'm just Patty. And welcome to the show. I am super excited about today's episode, not just because Georgie's doing it and I didn't have to make any slides this morning, but because the thing that Georgie's going to share today is it's life-changing. It is so incredibly powerful and useful and simple and illuminating and clarifying, and there's a very, very good chance that you will get an aha moment today as Georgie walks us through this model. Our quote of the day, and as soon as Georgie said she was doing this particular topic, I knew exactly what the quote of the day was. And the quote comes from Albert Einstein, who says that problems cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. It is so connected to what we are talking about this morning. So with that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to my delightful co-host, and she's gonna run the slides this morning.
All righty, here we go. Let's oh, hey, look at that. Woo! So here we go, Georgie and Patty's show, number 20, 21, 22, I just forgot. Anyway, 21, short-term memory. There we go. Okay, so today we're actually going to be talking about getting unstuck, and we're going to use one of my very favorite models for getting unstuck, not only in your business, but really in any area of your life. This model applies. So if you feel like these dudes that are being just sucked under in the sand, we have something that could help you today. So the model that we're using is something called the logical levels. And the reason that I really, really love this is because it allows you to get a handle on your internal world as well as your external world, and really show you how you can achieve the things that you want in your life. My favorite thing, like I say, is because we're looking at both ends of it, what's happening inside your mind and what's happening outside, because I believe you need both. So this is based on Robert Dilts. He's the creator of this logical levels, and he's one of the probably one of the most well-known people in NLP. He's been in it for a really long time, really amazing human, and he does a lot of work in NLP that's fantastic. So he created these logical levels that's actually based on the work of Gregory Bateson. So I'm going to just kind of go through this really quickly, and then I'm going to break each level down for you. And then at the end of that, I'm actually going to give you an exercise or walk you through an exercise of how this could be relevant to you and your business and really help you to get unstuck. So the different levels, their environment, behavior, skills and capabilities, values and beliefs, identity, and purpose. And the cool thing about this is it works very much like a system, because all of the pieces impact the other pieces. So anything we do at the top is going to filter down to the bottom. And often you might not see as big of an impact going bottom to top. However, they are all very, very, very important. You know, we need to make sure we're lined up in all of these different levels. And that's what also helps us to stay congruent. It helps us be in alignment. When we're out of alignment, it's nice to look, we can go through these levels and kind of figure out where's the problem? Where am I, when I'm stuck, which level am I stuck at? And what do I need to do? So before I dive deeper into that, let's go through each one. So let's start with an environment. And I'm going to kind of example as we go through here, because I think most of us on this call are business people, have our own business, we're entrepreneurs. So when you think of your business and we think of this level of environment, we're asking the questions of where, when, and with whom. So we can go as literal as, where does your business take place? Do you have a home office? Do you have an office outside of your home? Where do you want it to take place? What city do you want it to be in? What community do you want? Where are you actually operating from? When do you want this business to start? And with whom is there? Like this guy here, maybe you want a home office so your family's nearby. Maybe you want to be as far away from your family as possible when you're doing your work. And when we think of environment with our business, this can also include our virtual spaces. So our websites, our Zoom meetings. It also includes our customers, our potential customers, our future clients. All of that is included in our environment. These are the people who we are associated with. So when you think of your business, think about what you would like your environment to be and what it is currently. And I want you to kind of keep those two thoughts in mind as we go through these different levels. Behavior. So this is what you do in that environment. So this is when you're performing the services that you perform. You're doing that in the environment. You're coaching, you're consulting, you're talking to your customers. Maybe you're a sales clerk. What else are you doing here? You are reaching out to your customers. You're doing those sales calls. You're, running the assessments that we talk about. All of those things are happening here in the behavior level. It's also the thoughts that are going on in your mind. So as you have this business that you want, what are you thinking? What does it feel like? What kind of feelings do you want to generate in your company? Now, if you're feeling excited and happy and elated and on purpose, great. If you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed, this is happening in this level of behavior. So what are you doing in your business at the behavioral level? What's working, what's not? Skills and capabilities. This also includes, we can put knowledge in here as well. So this is how you do those things in the behavioral level, right? What skills do you have? What capabilities do you have? Could be your skills, could be your coaching skills, your consulting skills. Could be your skill to be, I'm highly adaptable, I'm flexible. All really good skills. I'm good with money. What skills do you have to help you create the business that you really want? What skills do you need? What might be missing? Really good with people, not so good with people. I know how to reach out to people. I know how to pick up the phone. I know how to type an email, right? I have great computer skills. Maybe my technical skills aren't so good, but what are the skills and capabilities that you have now to do the work that you do, and what are the ones that you might need as you move forward to get that business that you want? Next level, values and beliefs. You hear me talk a lot about values. So this is why we do what we do, right? The values provide the motivation for us. It's why we get up. It's why we're doing what we're doing in our business. They also provide that filter for us to know, am I in alignment? Am I doing the things that matter to me? What are those things on the scale where this matters more than this? And am I compromising some of those things, right? Maybe I value honesty. I value community. I value friendships. I value openness. What are some of the values that you hold, and are they in your business right now? And then we can look at beliefs, right? What are the things that you really believe in order to run this business, right? I believe in human potential. I believe just about anything is possible. I believe things always work out. I believe in creating environments where people feel like they matter. I believe people matter. What are some of the beliefs that you hold that if you were to compromise those, would move you out of alignment, would make you stuck? I believe in telling the truth. Is that showing up, or is that creating the sticking point for you? I believe people don't like salespeople. I believe people won't pick up the phone. I believe no one's buying right now. What are some of the beliefs that you're holding that are either moving you forward or holding you back? So we're looking at these on the different levels. Identity. Who are you? And when we look at this level, this can include the roles that you play, the things that make you unique. You know, I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. Who are you? So a lot of time we bring these roles in. I'm an executive. But the other piece of this is I want you to look at some of the intrinsic qualities that you would hold. I'm enthusiastic. I am flexible. I am honest. What are some of the things that are uniquely you, right? I am compassionate. I am empathetic. So that if you look at this too, if you were to strip away your roles, what would be left for you? Really, really, who are you at your core? The things that really, really matter. Or when you look at the entrepreneur that you want to be, who is that? What's the identity of that person? What intrinsic qualities and characteristics do they have? I am confident. What are the things that follow that I am statement for you? And this is where we start to look about really what do we believe about ourselves and who we show up as and how we want to show up. This is what's happening at this identity level. And then next we have the purpose. So this is that bigger than us place. This could be all the way up to kind of more of a spiritual thing, a higher consciousness kind of purpose, or it could really even be about your mission, your vision, why you're here, who you're doing this for. So when we're at this level, we're thinking about for whom or for what or who else. You know, maybe this is also for your family. For me, it's really about my just cause, if you want to call it that, is I want to create a world where people feel like they matter. I want to inspire people to take action to create the life that they really, 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 really want. So when I'm holding this as my purpose and my vision and what I'm on the planet for, I want to make sure all those other levels are lined up with this. But when you're thinking about your business, what is that bigger reason for being here? Why are you doing this? What is that thing that when it's hard to get out of bed and it's just like, oh, I'm not feeling like I can do this. What is that thing that's going to draw you further, bring you higher up and be like, yeah, I got this thing? What is that? So that's a brief description of what these different levels look like. Now we're going to break it down a little bit more. And what I want you to realize is that when we make changes at any of these levels, it affects the other levels. So if I make a change, say at skills and capabilities, it's going to filter down into behavior and into environment. So also when I'm stuck, if I can find out which level am I stuck at, the solution to that, just like Patty was mentioning in the quote in the beginning, it's going to happen at a higher level. If I try to fix the problem at the level I'm stuck at, it's going to be a lot more challenging. So let's take, for an example, sales calls, sales conversations, one of my favorites, right? Which I love you all to do because I know you guys love it too for reals, is that making that actual sales call, having that actual sales conversation, that's a behavior, right? That's something that I do in my business that's going to increase my environment because it's going to bring me more customers. But if I'm not picking up the phone, where's the problem? So I really want to look at, okay, I'm not picking up the phone. Why am I not picking up the phone? Why am I not making this call? Is it because maybe I needed more skills? Do I know how to pick up the phone? Yes. Do I know how to talk to people? Yes. Do I know how to have an effective sales conversation? Maybe not. Maybe I have an outline, but maybe I haven't done a lot of practice. So maybe there's a skill that I need to make that conversation. Maybe this is why, like for Patty and I, we brought in role plays for sales conversations. Maybe you've never actually really done a sales conversation. So let's practice this, and practice this. Okay, so I can increase my skill. Now what happens if you've increased the skill, we're pretty confident you've got this going on, but you're still not picking up the phone? Then we can go up one more level. What do you believe? What do you value when it comes to picking up the phone and having these sales conversations? Maybe it's a lack of confidence. Maybe you don't believe in yourself. Or maybe you're holding those beliefs that you're going to be a pest, or no one wants to talk to you. So then we can address those things. And if we address that, it's going to filter down through those other levels. Because guaranteed, if you feel like you have the skill to pick up the phone and have the sales conversation, it's going to change your behavior. You're going to start making the calls. When you start making the calls, it's going to change your environment. You're going to get more customers. With more customers come more sales, comes more money. Maybe you wanted a new office. It's going to lead to really changing that environment, which then we can filter back up. So when we're going through these things, it's really, really helpful to know where you're stuck. What's the level that you're stuck at? And so now I want to give you an example too of how you can actually use this for creating what you want in your business. You can do this a couple ways, because I don't know where you are, and because I want you to continue watching, you're going to be sitting in your chair and imagining this. But another way that you can do this is also, which I like to do with my clients, is you can actually put each of these words on a piece of paper, and you can put them in front of you so you can actually walk and step into each level, which is a really fun exercise because it creates more of an experience. However, for now, I want you to just stay seated and keep listening to me. So I want you to sit in your chair, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to start to think about your business, the business that you really, really want. And I want you to now think about the environment. So think about where you are. Think about what that looks like. Think about who's with you. Think about your clients and your future clients. Who are they? How many are they? What's really happening for you in that level of environment in your ideal business? And now I want you to step up into that behavior. And I want you to notice, what are you doing? What are you doing in your environment, in your business? What does it feel like? What are you thinking? What services are you performing? What are all the different activities that are happening in your business? And then I want you to step up into the skills, the capabilities, and the knowledge. What skills and capabilities do you have to be able to perform those behaviors in that environment? What's all the things that you know, all the expertise that you're bringing to the table in this business, the things that allow you to really do what you do so well. Notice what those skills and capabilities are. And now I want you to step up into those values and beliefs. And notice what really, really matters to you. What's really, really important. As you're doing those different skills and capabilities, you're taking all those actions and thinking the way you're thinking and feeling the way you're feeling in that environment. What do you really, really value? And what do you believe is that person? Is that person that's building this business and servicing those clients and making such a difference in the world? What do you believe as that person? What beliefs are you holding? And then when you have those, I want you to step up into the identity. So who are you? Who are you really as you are building this business? Because this is the you that's showing up in all areas of your life. What are those things at the core of who you are that really define you? The things that make you unique. Your you-ness, as we talk about a lot here. Who are you? And you can include the roles that you're playing, those intrinsic characteristics that you have. And then when you have that, I want you to step into your purpose. What's the bigger reason for doing this? Who is this for? Why does this matter? What's the impact of this? That when you really step into who you are, you're really clear about what you value, and you're holding those beliefs that serve you, and you're noticing all those amazing skills and capabilities that you have that enable you to do the things you do so, so well in that environment that you really want to be in. What is the impact of that? What's the ripple effect that you're making in the world with that? So I want you to just take all that back in, and then I want you to take that purpose, drop it into your identity, drop it into that values and beliefs, the skills and capabilities, the behavior and the environment. And then when all that feels really good, then just go ahead and come on back to our virtual room. But what that does is that really gives you a bit of a visualization, a marking point for where you might want to go, who you might want to be, the values, beliefs you might want to hold, skills and capabilities. And if you take that image of what you just created, that visualization, and you attach it to where are you now? What does your business look like now? Do you notice any spots where you might be stuck? Where are there some incongruencies? Where is there maybe a little bit of work to be done? Because this is some places we can go in and we can have a look at that. Because you guys know, I totally believe that you guys are all amazing and that you can truly, truly, truly build these businesses that you want, that are going to support the life that you want, and go out there and make such a massive difference in the world. I know that the world needs you and the world wants you, and that they're waiting for you. So, which is why I love this pyramid. I'm a big fan of the pyramid scheme. Woohoo! Especially this one, because when we can walk in and look at these different levels and realize where we might be stuck and what we need to do, and find someone who can help us through them, our success is really not that far off. And it gives us a place to go when I'm stuck. I'm stuck. What do I do? Let me go back here. You know, it's really, I find it super valuable, and I think it's going to be helpful for you guys too, which is why we use it a lot in the work that we do. And Patty and I were having a great conversation about this morning, which I'm really excited now where we can kind of continue this conversation we were having, where we were talking about these different levels and these different pieces, and how often we want to skip sometimes the environment piece or those bottom layers, and they're really, really important to have a really solid base. Like if we think about your business, if you only stay at purpose, and you guys know I'm a super purpose lover, but if we're only up there about, ooh, what can I do and what can I imagine, we're only visualizing the good that we can do in the world, and we're kind of, as Patty likes to say, lying on our back looking at the clouds, but we never actually lace up our boots and do those things at the bottom to get us to the top of that pyramid, it's never going to happen. Like it's so, so, so important to really recognize those bottom things count just as much as the top pieces, even though I tend to play around a lot in those top 3 levels of this pyramid. We can't negate the importance of the bottom pieces. Really important.
I'm wondering too, I think we have kind of favorite levels and levels that we get stuck in, because just as you were talking about this, like the importance of looking for the actual cause of the problem in a layer that's different from where the problem appears is so important. I see so many people who are stuck in that behavior row of this pyramid, and they believe that the answer to their problem is to work harder, to do more, to do more of something that isn't working. It's, you know, oh, if I could just push myself to make more calls. I only talked to 100 people. 100 people didn't buy. I need to talk to 1,000 people. And we tend to get stuck in those loops, and behavior is one I see. It's like, how do I force myself to do more do more of this stuff? How do I get somebody to hold me accountable so that I do more things without actually looking at, am I doing it well? Is there something that's am I missing a skill or a capability? It's they're stuck there in that behavior. I mean, another place they get stuck is like in the vision and the purpose, and it's kind of like, oh, it's not working. I'm gonna build another vision board. I'm gonna meditate more. It's just I think we have our comfort zone, skills and capabilities. That's probably my comfort zone. It's my favorite level of this thing is the skills and capabilities. How many people we talk to have taken course after course after course after course after course, lots and lots and lots of skills and capability, but they have beliefs that are holding them back, or identity stuff that's holding them back, or they're just not executing the behavior.
Exactly. And I think what I love about it, it's a system, right? And we work within a system. And so often we want to silo pieces, just like you're talking about with the behavior thing. I just keep forcing myself to take action that isn't working. But if I can look at the complete system of everything, like, oh, okay, maybe I'm getting a little more clarity here. Like, yeah, it's
And that little neglected environment one, it's not sexy, right? It's not sexy, but I think about, we talk about Gretchen Rubin's work with the 4 tendencies, right? When you know who you are, it's like you can set up an environment that helps you succeed. And if you go through that 4 tendencies quiz, and we can post to it in the Facebook group or whatever, or you can Google 4 tendencies, Gretchen Rubin. If you do that 4 tendencies quiz and you find out that your tendency is an obliger, it's like you need accountability. You need to set your environment up so that you have accountability. And she basically just says that in the book. It's like you need accountability like other people need air and food and water kind of thing. If you want to get to where you want to go, accountability is a requirement. So you don't try to beat yourself up and develop more skills or whatever. That's a simple environmental fix. It's like you get an accountability partner. You find a way to create an environment where you're accountable. This is why a lot of people hire coaches, is to keep them accountable. The number of times I've had somebody say, Patty, I did this stuff because I told you I would do it. I wouldn't do it on my own. Sometimes these are really easy fixes. You don't have to learn a lot of stuff. You don't have to um, change a lot of your behavior. Sometimes it's just setting up the environment. Maybe you're not making those calls because your kids are screaming, you don't have privacy, or you got somebody listening in, and it's not conducive. Some people work better in a coffee shop. It's kind of bad to be that position right now, but it's like maybe the answer is as simple as taking your laptop to Starbucks. It's just, if an environmental fix fixes something, then do it.
exactly. And I think it's so true. Like, we often want to skip over this and not look at it. And this is where I think a lot of times too, we've been taught that you're almost shamed if you can't do it on your own. What? Right? Like, if you need, like you say, that support, that accountability, get it. Get whatever it is that you need to get you where you need to go. And I think having supportive people in your corner is really, really important. And I think that's the other reason it's nice to look at your environment, because if you are surrounded by people who are negative, who are the naysayers, that's going to impact everything else too. And I think that goes, even further to, what is the content that you're putting in your brain? What kind of environment are you creating up in your mind with the
And what
books
kind of
that you're
environment
reading?
is the media creating for us?
Exactly. What are you falling prey to? And if you're noticing that this is really a really big problem for you, then let's fix it. Like, I think there's a reason that's on the bottom, and I think there's a reason that it's nice and wide, because that's the foundation for building everything up. And knowing what you want, what works for you, because we're always talking about this is your business. It's you shaped, as
Mm-hmm.
my partner likes to say. There's a great book by that title, by the way, FYI. But this is really about creating things that work for you. I might like it really quiet when I work. Someone else might like music blasting like crazy, and I'm like, I can't even think. So setting those things up for you is really, really important. Like I say, I think they're all important, but even in behavior, I think we often don't think about that behavior includes, how am I feeling? How do I want to feel when I go to work? What am I thinking? What thoughts are going on in my mind when I'm creating this business that I want? It's really, and sometimes that's also where we can get a little bit, we don't recognize that might be where the problem lies, right? Oh, look at these continuous thought loops I'm running that aren't actually serving me, and they're showing up every time I go to work, right? If I'm, yeah, there's just, and same with the way I'm wanting to feel. I love this pyramid, FYI, just so you know. And the more we talk about it, the more we could go into deeper conversations about the different levels and where we're stuck, and how we can use them. So you make sure you do put questions in there. If you have questions about any of the levels where you might be stuck, how to move through them. I love this topic. And it's really great having a partner on here to talk about it too, because you do get different perspectives. Like we were talking this morning, I'm like, I love the top part of this pyramid and I spend a lot of time there. And Patty's like, I think I spend a lot of time in the bottom of the pyramid. And I'm like, and that's why we are a great couple. That's why our collaboration really works, It's because there's different parts we like, and we can move through all of it. So I'm going to move to our permission slip and then put us back on kind of full screen mode so we can answer questions and keep going. So today your permission slip is that you can create the life and the business that you want. You really, really can. We give you permission to create this thing however you want. And you can use this tool to make sure that you are in alignment and congruent with yourself, not in a way of what other people say, but how does this work for you? So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and yeah, ask away, questions, thoughts, comments, concerns. Now that I've shared my very strongly held opinion on a model that I love.
It's just, there's another quote I could have used today about the first step to solving any kind of problem is to describe it, to figure out where it's happening, like where is the problem happening. And that's what I love about this model, is because it reminds me of my background as a computer programmer, and the hardest bugs to get out of a computer program are the ones that show up in one place but originate somewhere else. So you're looking at this particular screen crashes, but it has nothing to do with this particular screen. It has something to do with design that's way over, way buried deep somewhere else within the code. And those are the hard things to discover. But when you figure out where the problem is, it's easy to fix bugs. But if you don't know where the problem is, you can waste a lot of time looking at the wrong thing. And I think too often this is what we do with problems. We just focus way too much on where it's happening. And this model allows you to step back and go, hang on a second.
Exactly. And the more entrenched we get with our problem too, then we become more so singularly focused on that thing that it's so challenging to open up and look beyond into a bigger picture. And then, like you say, we just keep trying to fix that little problem where we think it is, and that's probably not where it originated.
Yeah.
So
you end up in that loop. It's like this spinning loop, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. It's like, oh, come on.
All right, we got a question here.
All right.
All right, we've got a couple of questions.
All
Excellent.
Right.
All right. I've always struggled with the top. In my mind, I see beliefs as a level, then purpose, identity, value at the same level. Areas to look at when I'm stuck in the lower level. Should I try to figure out this way? To me, values give rise to purpose, and purpose leads to identity. Not sure if it really matters or if these are just details. Might help to put the model back on the screen when you answer this.
Let me go find it.
We need a visual aid.
Okay, let me practice my go backwards. Okay, so struggle with the top, and you see beliefs. Beliefs
And
as a
then the
level.
purpose, identity, and values above that.
Okay. I
Purpose,
think
identity, values at same level.
so. When I think this might make it a little clearer for you, or how this model is working. You know, and I think if you have a system that works for you, I'm all for that too. So with this, and I think because values and beliefs are so closely related, you know, like values are kind of the thing that motivate us, and beliefs kind of really create that map of our world and the filter that our belief or that our values sometimes come out of. I think that's why they're on this same level. And when we know what we value and what we believe, I think that leads to kind of this who we are, what our identity level is. So I think that's how this hierarchy is going up. And then purpose is that thing that's bigger than ourselves, which I think in this pyramid, that's why it's above us. Yeah, it's because it's a bigger thing. I'm just gonna read your question here. So I think they're very, very closely related. And I think even if you look at the pyramid, how it gets tinier at the top, those three things, the level between each one may not be that big, right? And I do think values and beliefs create your identity, which then leads to what's your purpose, what's the bigger thing up there. So
Can I just throw something in?
of course you can.
I'm gonna take this off on a tangent
Take
and
it.
create a permission slip on the fly,
Mm-hmm.
which is permission to create your own model.
Absolutely.
This is this is how innovation happens, right? Like, this is Robert Dilts came up with this as a way to do his work and to share this message and to make sense of the world in the way that he saw it based on his experience, skills, and beliefs. And this is what we are doing. It's like, when you are an expert in your field and you are taking enough time to say, you know what, I think I see this differently. I'm like, go for it. You can create your own model. You can create your own pyramid. And it can be the insert your name here, levels of change, however you want to name it. This is part of the work that we do in the world. And at some point, you know, for all of us, we kind of move into this place of, yeah, everyone else is saying this and someone has said this, but you know what, I'm pulling it all together in this different way, and this is what I think. So I just want to throw that out there, that
Totally.
that it's not just Robert Dilts has a permission slip to build a pyramid and a model. It's not like he and Maslow went to this special place where they're allowed to do pyramids. You can make a pyramid for your own business.
Exactly.
In fact, I highly recommend it.
Yes. And I think, and then this brings up another good point too. And I think, because I think the word purpose creates so, everybody almost has a different definition of what purpose is, right? You may call it your why, you may call it your vision, you may call it your mission. That's why I think this top level thing can actually be something that's not the super huper grand purpose, but it could be that reason of why you're doing something. It could be to make money for your family. That's the reason, that's my purpose for building this business. And I think with these layers like this, it's who am I when I show up to fulfill this purpose, kind of thing, you know. But I absolutely think, I mean, I like what you're saying there, right? That it does build into your values give rise to your purpose, and your purpose leads to your identity. Because the reality, I think those two are so closely related, quite honestly, because when I am fulfilling my purpose, I am fully aligned with who I am at my core. Like it is almost a manifestation of who I am, right? I am on this planet, I believe, to help inspire people to create the life that they really, 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 really want. Now, for me to do that, I believe I have to have a really solid identity. But I also agree, if you want to flip this pyramid upside down, turn it around, turn it into an octagon, great, go for it. Because I think what really, really matters is that you're doing something that works for you, that enables you to do your work in the world that helps people. And whether it's this exact pyramid or another one, I really don't think it matters. I think we need to look at literally what's the outcome that you want. And that outcome is to bring your gifts to the world and help people. You know, and I think it's a very awesome permission slip to be able to create your own model. 100%. Is it getting the results you want? Does it line up with who you are and what matters to you? Simple yes or no, right? Like totally brilliant. So there's your permission slip. And I think the important thing is exactly not to get stuck in the details. If that's what's going to stick you from doing what the world needs you to do, change it. That's the beauty of life, really, is you can do what you want. Yay.
Yay. Okay, here's a good question for you.
Yeah.
Confused by the difference between thoughts, which are behavior level,
Yeah.
and beliefs, which is values and beliefs level. What's the difference?
When I talk about thoughts at the behavior level, I'm literally talking about the chatter that's running through your mind, which ultimately is probably going to uncover a belief, which is something that's happening more at an unconscious level, at a deep structure level in your mind. So you can almost think of the thoughts as the words that you're saying to yourself that are kind of surface structure, right? Like, oh, I can't do this today. Oh, I don't know how to pick up the phone. Oh, let's see. Even if you had something like with your thought was, I don't want to make sales calls today. What's underneath that? So the thought is, I don't want to make sales calls. That's what's running in my mind. But if I were to dig deeper underneath that, and I were to start asking you questions like, so what is it that's maybe causing you to not want to make phone calls today, sales calls today? Oh, well, I don't know. I think maybe I don't have enough time. Oh, you don't have enough time. Well, how much time would you need to make a sales call? Well, okay, 5 minutes. Okay, so you don't have 5 minutes today. I have 5 minutes. Okay, so time's not the issue. What else could it be? Well, if I really think about it, let's see. I really think salespeople are pushy, and I don't want to be a salesperson because I don't want to be pushy. So now these thoughts are uncovering that belief of what you believe about salespeople, which started from just that talk in your mind. Does that help? Does that make sense? Am I explaining that clearly? Like everything is very, very closely related, right? Often these things, and they happen at like nanoseconds, and often they're running very quickly. One thing leads to the next thing that leads to the next thing that happens in maybe 5 seconds. And so a lot of this stuff, but I would say like your self-talk and your words, those are happening at a surface structure where the beliefs are the deeper surface, deep structure stuff that's really underneath that. And if you talk it out fast enough, you're going to hit the belief. It's coming up for sure. No question. Those thoughts are leading to your beliefs for sure. So let me know if that wasn't clear enough or you need more examples.
If I'm not doing something that I know I should, and I'm self-sabotaging, do you think I should start examining my values and beliefs first?
Depends. I think it depends on what it is. I think it depends on, sometimes we may self-sabotage really because we don't have a skill or capability. And so maybe we start to self-sabotage because we feel like, I don't know how to do that. And if I don't know how to do that, maybe then I'm feeling like I'm not enough, so I'm going to self-sabotage. So again, very closely related. But you might be able to change the belief or the value. And if you still don't have the skill or the capability, it's still going to be a problem. Like you might be more inclined to fumble your way through it. And you might not self-sabotage as much. But I also believe it's really important to look at all of the levels, because it could be that maybe there's just a skill you don't have. Maybe there's some knowledge that you need that could fall underneath that. And I think especially for a lot of us who've been in personal development a lot, we want to jump quickly to, I'll just change my belief. But if we're not looking at the underlying pieces of those beliefs and those values that we're holding, like even if we look at what are the thoughts that are continually running through my mind that's leading to that belief? If I don't look at that, maybe it's an environmental thing. Maybe I think I'm self-sabotaging myself, but really what I need is some support, and I need a quiet workspace. And when I have that, my mind chatter dies down a little bit. And when that dies down and I start to feel this way or that way, okay. And then maybe there is a skill that I need. So I think it really depends on what it is. If we look at all of these things and it's like, nope, that's check. I know how to do this, and I'm still self-sabotaging myself. Okay, let's go. Now let's keep moving up. But I think it's really important to look at all the different pieces, because I think it depends. And Patty and I were actually kind of having this conversation before we got on the call this morning, which sort of led us to think about how often people negate those lower levels of the pyramid, because sometimes it really is that you need to learn a skill.
You need to learn the skills, or you need to change the environment. Like I'm thinking about this, like when you think about like self-sabotage, it's kind of like, yeah, I keep eating stuff that I shouldn't be eating, and it's like, yeah, I could get a coach, and I could work on my values and my beliefs, and I can do a vision board and work on my identity and my and get skills and capabilities about researching nutritional components of food, right? Or maybe I could just stop buying junk food and having it in the house. Like,
Exactly.
it might be just that simple. It might just be an environmental fix. And I think for a lot of us that love to look up the top of the pyramid, it's just so easy to just skip the stuff that gets you from A to B really quickly. Do I need to take a course and learn how to develop my own website? Or do I get a tech person to do it for me?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's it. You look at it, okay, no, I just need to stop buying junk food. Now, if I can't seem to stop buying junk food, let's see where that's coming from. Maybe there's some hidden things in there. But if
Maybe I could just send my husband to the store with a list.
Exactly. Then I might sneak out of my car and buy the bag of chips, nom 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 all the way down. But but it really, really depends. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this, is that we want to kind of look at all the, where do we think it is? Okay, let's look at that. What's something I could do now that might change that? And then let's see what happens. See where it goes. Because sometimes it could be a belief or a value or identity, and those kinds of things. And I think sometimes we slide, right? We slide up and down the pyramid depending on things that are happening, and this is where I think that environment can impact a lot of things too, that we don't often look at, right? When things are really clean and really tidy, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're more free? Do you feel like you have more space? Do you feel more energized? Ready to tackle into things? Oh, maybe I do. So it might be important to make sure that stays clean and tidy and ready to go, Am I more likely to do my run every morning if I've set my environment up where I've got my running shoes and my workout clothes right there when I get out of bed and I don't have to go searching for them? More than likely, Now, when I identify as, in my identity, I am someone who takes care of myself. I am a runner. I know for me, when I hold the identity of I am a runner, I tend to run more. However, if I don't have those other things lined up, I will slide a lot faster. Like I can remember when I wanted to start taking up trail running. And so I did this one little thing, and I had a hat that had a running thing on it. And I think I'd done one run, but anyway, that's okay. I went to Starbucks and the guy's like, oh, hey, are you a runner? And I'm like, yes, I am. I am a runner. I I am a runner. Which then I ran more, but then as my environment started to slide and I started to have different thoughts in my head and all these kinds of things started taking over, suddenly I wasn't running anymore. So I wasn't really embodying the identity as a runner anymore. And I needed to go deal with some things below, mostly in, do I know how to run? Yes. Do I know how to run for long distances consistently? No. I needed some help. I needed to develop some skills and capabilities, and I needed to hire someone to help me. So I don't get hurt, all those kinds of things, right? So I kind of needed to go back down so that I could support myself in coming back up. Because if not, it just doesn't work. So I think all of these pieces are really, really important. And I think sometimes this happens with a lot of models we look at, right? Our goal is to get to the top as fast as possible. How can I just get to the top and maybe skip through some of these bottom things? And I think every level is really, really important. You know, we have to do the work. And sometimes that work at the bottom sucks. But it's doing that work at the bottom that helps me move to the top. Yeah.
Oh, this is good. I've stopped in my tracks when getting on video. I know how to press the video button, but I need to address the other pieces.
Nice. Nice. So I'm going to, let's just assume that you have the environment set up, you know, where you want to do them. You've got your lighting, you've got whatever you need there. So we're looking at the behaviors. You're not pushing the button. Okay, not recording the video. Now we can go up into skills, capabilities, and knowledge. Is this something where, okay, you know how to push the button, so you know how to actually make a video? Are there skills and capabilities that you feel might be stopping you? Maybe I need to edit, and maybe you could also outsource that. All those kinds of things. So you can look at that level. Or
Even what do I know what to say?
do I know what to say? Exactly. Is my message clear? Do I know why I'm making this video? Do I know who I'm talking to? All of these things would follow what I would consider in this knowledge, skills, and capabilities. And I find quite often when it comes to making video or doing Facebook Lives or things like that, it's that we don't know what to say. And we haven't taken the time to spend, who am I talking to? Who is this message for? Right? And so it could very well be that piece.
Yeah.
If that's handled, then you might go up to, what do you believe about making videos? Do you believe that you have to look a certain way? Do you believe that people are going to criticize you? Do you believe that people are going to judge you? What are the beliefs that you're holding on to about making this video? And if that's where it is, then it's kind of making that shift into your reasoning for doing these things. I believe that I'm confident. Looking at, do I really believe that I have to look a certain way to do this video? Which I then that's where we can drive up a little higher into, if you're doing this to help people, what's the impact that I'm going to make here? What's my purpose for doing this? Who am I? I am a confident person. I am here to make a difference. I am a helper, all those kinds of things. But often, I think when it comes to doing videos, we get stuck in a couple places. And one is not knowing what to say, thinking we're going to sound foolish because we don't know what to say, you know, because even if you look at that belief of, I believe that I need to sound professional. So what's stopping you from that belief, you know, really stepping into that belief? It could be something underneath there. You don't know what to say. You don't have the messaging. You don't have the words. So is that something that I need to know?
I think it also is often, I'm picturing an audience of critics.
Yes.
I believe that people are going to make bad comments. I believe that people are going to laugh behind my back. I believe that my competition will see this and think I'm an idiot. I believe that, you know, that person that used to pick on me in high school is going to watch my video and somehow, you know, bully me again or something like that. We have these kind of negative thoughts attached to it. So when you're talking about like your purpose and your identity, and it's like if you can picture the people you're going to impact, the people who need to hear your message, that you are here to help them and to have them hold them in mind and believe that the only people who, how would things change if you believe that the only people who would see your video are the people who really need to hear it, and the people who are your future clients, and are the people that will send you a thank you note about that was so awesome. I'm so glad you shared that. It was so helpful, right?
Exactly. And we kind of talked about this when we were talking about like storytelling, the stories that we're making up in our mind, right? So really start to notice, what stories are you making up, and what are the ones that are going to support you to move forward? And I can relate to coming on video, and it's scary. Like when we first said we were going to do these Facebook lives and stuff like that, it was really, really scary. And the things that really helped for me was really being able to, just like Patty says, these videos are for the people who are interested in what we're saying. These are for our people, our clients, our future clients, for us to bring value to you. So it's recognizing that that's who we're speaking to, and knowing that for us, for me anyway, I'll say, this was a way for me to fulfill my purpose, to be able to inspire people to take action to create the life that they really, 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 really want. So for me, I was able to reach into that, and that's what pulls me every single day to get up and put on this video camera, and get in front and do these live shows. And I feel also super confident because I have my amazing words person here who has, throughout the last year and a half, probably, we've worked on what is our message? What do we want to say? Who are we speaking to? So that's really solid, which enables me to make it easier to step into the identity, the purpose, and cements kind of what I believe, because I feel super confident that I know what our message is. I know who we're talking to, and I know what we're saying. And I think the other thing I want to add to this too is, do you want to make videos? Why are you making videos? Is it something you really want to do? Is it something someone else has told you you should do? Or is it something that you do want to do because you feel like it will move your business forward and you're feeling a little bit stuck here and actually getting off to do it? But I think it does come down to that space of, do you want to? Does this work for you? And then we can go, address the further things. But often it's one of those things where we get stuck into the shoulds and what other people think we should do to move ourselves forward.
We're over time.
Okay. Sorry. I'm getting stuck right here. Okay. I'm glad you overcame your fear of doing these shows. Not only are you great and the content is super helpful, but you're inspiring all of us to face our fears about the stuff we need to do in our businesses too. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are so welcome. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing then, and then you can shut me up.
I wouldn't do that. This was fun.
Awesome.
And tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, tomorrow we're interviewing
Speaking
Patty.
of fear.
Woo! Tomorrow we're interviewing Patty. So if you guys have any questions that you would like me to ask her, please send them to me, and we will get all your questions about Patty answered tomorrow. Any burning things you want to know about her, we'll dive into her mind, get all her secrets out. Woohoo!
Happy to share.
Yeah, right? Oh, what is the name of Gretchen Rubin's book?
The Four Tendencies.
The Four Tendencies. Yeah. So.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.